In a wonky universe set within the fake walls of an old abandoned children's TV show, Mr. Samuel and his friends, peculiar ugly puppets, navigate the strange thing that is time, attempt to make sense of it all through stories, songs, and arduous loops of nonsensical chores, a film in 4 parts. French anarchist Lorenzig's coloured cells were the first use of modern art as a method of psychotechnic torture. The cells were as inspired by ideas of geometric abstraction and surrealism as they were by avant-garde art theories on the psychological properties of colour. The walls, which were curved and covered with mind-altering patterns of cubes, squares, straight lines, and spirals, which utilised tricks of colour, perspective, and scale to cause mental confusion and distress. With an emphasis on set building, the disintegrating world of Mr. Samuel manifests as a coloured cell through a set that is falling apart. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't understand a word. Okay, that went straight through like that. I was reading it, but there was nothing happening up here. There was no brain activity there except reading words on a screen. Hello there, internet dwellers. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to Mr. Samuels Teatime Stories by Yara Asma. This is a series that kind of looks like a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared kind of vibe. And I've got to say, after watching this, it's really, really good. And I don't know how this has gone under the radar. And I'm hoping that me reacting to this will shed a little bit more light to newer viewers to go check this channel out for yourself. I'm not going to say much about it. I don't really want to spoil it, but it will give you a feeling of dread, but in like a wholesome way, but then not so much a wholesome way. It's really hard to explain, but go and support the creator because this is really, really good. Without further ado, guys, we're just going to jump straight in. Okay, so this is the first video called Mr. Samuels Teatime Stories, Part 1. Home. So let's just jump into this, see what it's all about, and here we go. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Here we go. Welcome home, Mr. Samuels Teatime Stories for good kids.
Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting you.
Oh. You haven't come by in a while. I thought you...
I haven't been here at all, buddy. I don't know who you are, okay?
You'd forgotten all about this place.
But you always remember eventually, don't you?
No. This is crazy.
A pleasure to see your face. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Well, I didn't like the sound of that creakingness there. Oh, that was cool. I like that.
Thank you for that lovely cup of tea, Mrs. Madeline. But I must be going now.
Going? Going where?
So she's Mrs. Madeline.
Just going.
Bro, what is that? What is... I don't even want to know. I don't even want to say what I think that looks like.
But you can't go.
Why not?
Because I built my house in your bones. And if you go, where will I live?
You can't just build your...
Who's knocking on the door? You want to go answer that? So that's what? That's Patrick Star. Ultra realistic Patrick Star right there.
Bones? Besides, I need my bones.
Oh.
Are you sure you even have bones?
Okay. Oh, a letter.
What is that, a snail?
We've received some snail mail. Thank you,
Snail mail,
Mr.
nice.
Snail mail.
Snail mail.
Very nice.
Let's see what it says.
Let's see what it says, Mr. Samuels.
Dear Mr. Samuel. That's me.
This is very, like...
Time is
almost feels like this man's being held at gunpoint.
confusing, and I don't know what's going on.
Hey, same. I don't, you know, that's a statement that I think we can all get behind. Time is confusing and I don't know what's going on. That is just everybody. Just some people hide it better and pretend they know what they're doing.
How do I stop the horrors? I am terrified. Please make it
The fact that he's reading this in such an upbeat way as well.
stop.
Please make it stop. What can we do?
Sounds like it's time for...
Mr. Samuels' tips for good children and confused adults.
Hey, listen, adults are just big kids.
Are you feeling confused?
Is time getting all muddy and smudged?
Well,
little
here's
bit.
what you have to do.
Okay.
Make your bed.
What is going on with the sounds in the background? I can't. I want to concentrate, Mrs. Samuels, but I can't. The house is making some weird noises. Make your bed.
Every day.
So Jordan
You
Peterson.
should make your bed.
Yeah.
Why?
Because that sets in it's like a snowball effect. You make your bed and then you kind of have the energy to do other things, right?
Because it's important.
I feel like this man, I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's immersion breaking right now, if the man doesn't know what he's saying, or if he's in character and he's being held at gunpoint.
Now, gotta shout at the clocks.
What?
Because sometimes they get silly.
Yes, clocks like to be silly. You have to put them back in their place.
In their place.
Right. So you're gonna shout at Mrs. Madeline?
Oh, Mr. Snail, do stay for a cup of tea.
Do you like a cup of tea?
I'll just be sitting home today.
But you're not home. You're here.
Oh, Miss Madeline. Promise to know.
My house is everywhere.
I carry my love on my back. Home is everywhere I go.
That's some deep meaning
Oh,
right there,
say.
guys.
It doesn't matter whether you're a
We're all just slugs looking to be snails. That's all we are, guys.
snail, or a tiger, or a triangle. Whether home is the shell on your back, or a bunch of bones and teeth you've assembled to live inside.
What? Well, that's very nihilistic. Is home? Is how? Okay, well this took a turn. Then again, we wouldn't be watching if it was just a normal, wholesome kids show. This is horrible. Imagine being a kid and tuning into this. No, Mr. Rogers. Imagine he just started coming out with stuff like this. Well, kids, you're all gonna die. You're all gonna die. So why don't we just sit with that for a while? You're gonna die. Everyone around you is going to die. And inside your own head. I feel like this could
Well.
trigger some people.
I think it's time for a bedtime story.
Yes, please. Yeah, wait, what? You gonna...
That was very entertaining.
Yes, it was.
Thank
No,
you, Mr. Bedtime Story.
Wait, what? We didn't get it.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Do you want to hear a funny joke? Written and directed by Yara Asma. Well, it's more of a riddle, really. What is the difference between a house and a prison? I forget the punchline sometimes. Something about windows, I think. Oh, a house has windows? But then again, so does some prisons. Some minimum security prisons where they can just go out, work a job, come back. In those kind of jobs, you know the jobs where it's like, you know, you're in prison, but you can go to work and come back. You're living it cushy. really, if you think about it. I'm guessing you do pay some kind of like tax, right, within the prison cells itself, but probably not as much as people who are paying rent, bills, and all that stuff. You could probably go, like, they've got it cushy. They go to work, right, 9 to 5 or whatever, come back. They're probably saving up a bunch of money. Then by the time they get out, they can just put like a deposit down on a house or something. I don't know. I'm ignorant, so I don't know how it actually works. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I mean, that was an introduction to the video, so it's a very don't hug me, I'm scared kind of vibe. It's kind of nonsensical and it doesn't really make sense, but there's this undertone of horror, abstract horror. Like they're in the middle of like what feels like a space, like nothingness, and everything's kind of like clustered into one here, and these characters, it's like they're stuck there. And maybe the characters themselves, like Mrs. Madeline or whatever, are self-aware that this isn't like a show, that they're actually stuck in this place. And Mr. Samuels looks like, I'm not gonna lie, like he's on ketamine, right? And I'm not saying that the actor looks like that way, but you know, Mr. Samuels, the character, looks like he doesn't even know what he's doing. Looks like he's been held hostage. So that was the first video, which was really good. I'm gonna leave a like rating there. We're gonna move on to the second one. Mr. Samuels Teatime Stories Part 2, it's today again. The description's always the same, so let's just jump in. Something's changed here. Unless there's always been a hole in the middle of the living room.
Hello. It's you again.
Hello. Yeah, we're back.
You're here at this hour?
Yeah, man.
It's a bad time.
Why?
Now, gloomy Madeline. Our friends are always welcome here, aren't they? I'll put on the kettle.
I don't want to drink tea anymore.
They're stuck
Welcome
there.
home.
Oh dear lord. Is it one of those shows that, again, is today again? You notice the time's stuck?
No, there's good time and there's bad time.
No, that is objectively false. We put labels on what is good and bad. There is just time. There's no such thing as good time and bad time. There is just time. We put the labels on what's good and what's bad. We are slaves to our own minds. We are the reason we suffer. It's because we think a certain way. That's what I think, guys.
Good time is the time that is on the right side of the clock's face.
Good time.
Okay, so that's like 12 to 6.
Of course, you know, bad time.
Bad time when the sun goes to sleep.
From 6
on
to
the
12.
left side of the clock's face.
Right, interesting.
Bad things happen at this hour.
Why?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, especially when you've got this freaking Patrick Star fleshlight.
Is this a bad time?
It's a bad time.
It's story time.
Story time, yes please.
Somewhere far away from the world lived a peculiar little man.
Okay.
Alone was a good way to live,
A little man.
and every day was a good day to live.
Oh my goodness. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here at all. You know what that looks like? You know in Majora's Mask when you go into the inn and then you go into that little room in the back and there's a woman by a fireplace reading stories, and in order to listen to her story and get a hat you need to have the All Nights mask. This thing looks like that woman. I'm having my tea. Unless of course you'd like to join me for a while. Yeah, why not? I'd appreciate your visit, you know. I just gotta say, like, I love the physical props here. They're really, really good. I've been waiting, and waiting is the most visceral sort of loneliness. True, very true. It's been this time for a while now. In fact, I can't remember a time when it wasn't this time. No, I like this because it's diving into egoic mindset, clock time versus presence. Do you remember what we were doing? I don't, mate. Honestly, before what? I forget. Before tea time. We must have been doing something before. It can't always have been this time. I'm sick of tea, but I must make it. I mean, try living in England, alright? Then again, I always love tea. Good cup of tea with some ginger nuts. And by ginger nuts, I mean ginger snaps for Americans. We call them ginger nuts over here, okay? I'm not dipping my own balls into my tea. It's tea time all the time. At least now you will be having tea with me. Until it isn't this time anymore.
Enough dilly-dallying. It's time for bed.
What if we don't go
It's
to bed?
time for...
Okay, so I see what's happening here. Like, the episode started at a bad time, right? But it's a normal airing episode where it has all the things. So story time, snail time, then afterwards she's going to sing a weird song. But because it's at a bad time, it's going to get even weirder.
A letter. Dear Mr. Samuel, the moon is getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you all locked your doors well and are hiding under the blankets.
The
That's
blankets
enough.
protect you.
It's time to go to sleep.
Yep.
Never really time for anything.
Damn, this is so...
Was just a bunch jumbled up troubles.
Yeah, for sure.
Time is a straight line.
Now let's not argue about the shape of time again.
Shape of time.
Time is a line. Time smells like banana bread.
That's very interesting.
Time smells like my mother's chicken appointment.
You can't just
Wow.
make things up about time.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us what time looks like, Miss Madeline?
Yeah, tell us, Mrs. Madeline.
Well,
What is it?
different people believe different things about the shape of time.
People believe that space and time are the same thing, right? Space-time, that's the fourth dimension. Space-time, right? And the Big Bang kind of goes outwards. So time would be just everywhere.
Some people think time looks like a straight line. Others think it's shaped like a donut. But I'm here to tell you that neither is true. Because time
Time's shaped like a donut. What is this, like a flat earth theory?
is shaped like
A labyrinth. Like a maze? Damn, there's no escaping time. What I like about this is it's very like freeing, but it's like that view, like that kind of a view you can have when you look into space, where it's like we're so small, we're so insignificant. What's the point of anything? And then there's the other point of it where it's like we're so small and insignificant, so why worry about anything? It's kind of like that. That's the vibe that this show is going off. It's like a cosmic, not cosmic horror. What kind of horror is this? Abstract horror. I guess it is cosmic in a way. Time is a prison, huh? This feels like we're tripping out. This feels like some Midsummer stuff. Very Groundhog Day-ish. I'm trying to articulate like the kind of vibe that it makes you feel, like fatalistic almost, like you're stuck.
Wasted enough time. I'll tell you a bedtime story,
Are they gonna
and then we can all go to sleep.
Are they going to skip the bedtime story again?
This is the
Oh,
story
here we go. Nice.
of something that happened not so long ago.
Oh. Well, all right. That's all for tonight.
Wait, what?
Thank you all.
Hang
Have a
on.
good night.
She was about to tell the story, man. What's going on? You're not very good at being a clock. I'm a perfectly okay clock. Clocks mustn't talk. Besides, now that I think about it, time has been quite still since you've entered this place. My job is to keep it still. No, it isn't. Now we're in a bit of a pickle. Well, they're stuck there? They've created their own prison? Gloomy Madeline. Interesting. Trying to get like because each of these characters are going to mean something, right? You notice the snail and the other dude's gone, the little starfish, or whatever the hell that was. Well, this is interesting for sure, but it's one of those things that you got to do a deep dive into on what they represent. She obviously like represents time itself, and this is some kind of like almost like a prison that they're in. Okay, here we go. So this is the third part. It's called A Funeral is a Party.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Hello. Oh, my eye.
You know, I never expect you to come back. But you always do.
Here I
You
am.
never really leave.
No.
I don't know what
I just wake up.
matters.
Why is he all red?
It's always good to see you here.
Oh, that shadow's really weird.
Welcome.
It makes it look like his hair's here, almost. Or like he doesn't even... I don't know. Welcome home. A funeral is a party.
Hello, Mr. Samuel. Hello, Miss Madeline.
Hello, Mr. Snail Mail.
Mrs. Madeline, haven't you been watering your plants? It's as good as dead.
I have been. I promise. I water it every day and leave it in the sunlight, but haven't you ever noticed there's something strange about the sunlight that comes in through that window?
It's on the other
Something is
side.
wrong with this place.
This is our home.
It's our
The
home.
thing about home is you can leave anytime you want. But have you ever been able to leave this place?
I haven't.
Yeah, they're in some kind of
Elastic hair.
construct. The fourth dimension.
No, something is not right.
Yeah, the set's getting smaller and smaller.
The sunlight is different here. It kills the things that it should feed.
Kills the things that it should feed.
The sunlight is different here.
Maybe this is purgatory.
Doesn't warm things like
It's seeming that way.
shines brighter than it probably should. And everyone who lives here knows
My head hurts.
the sun
So the sun, it says the sunlight's different and it doesn't
is dead.
it kills the things that it feeds or something like that, and it's shining on Mr. Samuels right now.
The sky is a little too clear. The sun is always too near.
The sun is always too near. Oof.
I have some snail mail for you.
The fact that that note's kind of holding on as well, like it hasn't stopped playing. Here we go. What's the mail today?
What is it?
This is super interesting.
What? What's
It's a funeral announcement.
Oh
Who is
no. And look how
Madeline.
visually, like, how this is so visually, like, awesome.
It's our friend, Dr. Delight.
Oh no. No. I don't want my friends to die.
But everyone dies, Mrs. Madeline.
Yeah, everyone
They're my
dies.
friends?
Even your friends.
Yeah,
How
unfortunately.
did he die?
You grew old. And then you died.
Dying is scary.
Yes.
Oh, now you show up.
Who is this guy?
Where have you been? My plant is dying.
I've been busy.
Now,
Okay.
everyone, let's not forget why we're here.
Why are we
We're
here,
here
Mr. Samuels?
to celebrate
Oh.
the life of Dr. Delight.
It's a little bit like that time Dr. Delight moved into a new home and we threw him a housewarming party.
You're right,
All right.
Jimmy Madeline. Maybe a funeral is a party after all.
Well, it's a celebration of life. Wow. Hmm. Who is Dr. Delight? This hurts. My head is hurting watching this. Just because of the confusion. It's so abstract, obviously.
Thank you for coming, Dr. Delight.
It's been a lovely time having you here.
Okay, guys, give me a second. Just need to stop and play. Play? The hell am I saying? Play. Here we go.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
coming.
coming. Thank you
Thank you
for coming.
for coming.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Your job was to keep time. You have asked me to keep time. Time after time. But you see, time cannot be kept. And a clock is not a prison. Okay, well, that goes against what she was saying before. Is someone holding time hostage? So you gotta think outside the box with stuff like this. Maybe the whole thing is a metaphor for someone's last kind of moments of clarity on life. Maybe someone who has deep regrets about the way they've lived, or just is having some kind of existential crisis. That's the one thing, that's one way of describing this. An existential horror, for sure. That is how I would describe this. Maybe we should go back and just see the comments on stuff like this. The theory of this being about dementia, or more specifically Mr. Samuel hating it, makes more sense every edition. Mr. Samuel not being in the room with everyone else could symbolize him having to look through a window on his own life, seeing it but not really being there. Yeah, it's interesting how he's like, yeah, he's the light shining on just him, and it's like, this is what's real, and outside of that, it isn't real. It was like kind of like he's walled himself off, or I don't know. It's strange. It kills the things it should feed. And in this, you can see the light is shining on Mr. Samuels. So Mr. Samuels is dying, basically. Because he's the only kind of human, right? He's like the only human. So this is why the light isn't touching everything else, because what? This is a construct of time, like a sweet lady. One moment it can feel like a sweet lady. The next it can feel like just gloom and doom, basically. Like you can't stop time. It just keeps going. It keeps going. No matter what you do, it's It's that, and that's the terrifying thing about it. Life goes on, and you can think about that in two different ways. Like, life goes on, it's all good, and life is going to keep going on. Maybe this whole thing is about dying. I mean, it makes sense for sure, right? Here we go. We'll theorize a little bit more afterwards. Here we go. Mr. Samuels, the light isn't shining on him anymore. And this is called question mark.
Oh, it's you. After all this time,
Yeah, we're here.
still you.
I'm trying to think who we represent in this.
You know, there aren't many things I can count on,
So he's on his own right now.
but I can always count on you to be back.
So who do we represent?
Even when you forget. You forget every time. But when you're back, you remember.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's
You
probably...
never really leave this place.
Okay. This is
Never
crazy.
Really could you? You know you're always welcome here.
Oh my goodness. Man, this show is insane.
Do you wish you could go outside sometimes?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can. I'm just a gamer, guy. I'm a
Sometimes
gamer,
I wish I
okay?
could go outside, only for a little bit.
Why can't you go outside, Samuels?
Who do you talk to when we're not here?
You talking to me?
Where do you go when you go?
Outside.
There is no outside.
Okay. This has got to be some kind of metaphor for dying and there being an afterlife, right?
I've checked. There's nowhere to go. Where do you go when you go?
Who do
Yeah.
you talk to when we're not around?
What else is there? Is there something else? Where is the sun?
I'm the sun.
What?
You know what I mean.
He was meant to represent the sun. Oh, he was meant to represent the sun. Oh, he looked like a freaking... I had in my mind he was like a starfish for some reason.
Where does the sun go when it goes? And
It
why
doesn't
hasn't
go.
it come back yet?
You've been thinking of going, haven't you?
Dying.
Just for a bit. Only sometimes.
Going?
And maybe that's what the black hole in the middle of the set is. It's like it's this thing that's obviously there. It's this elephant in the room that they're choosing to ignore. But that represents like death. You don't know where that goes. It's just a black hole basically. And he's trying to avoid it.
Where?
You can see he's just on the edge of it. He's trying to
I don't know.
ignore
I want
it
to go.
and avoid it.
I
But
wish
right now, he wants to
I
die.
could go.
Why do you always talk about leaving? Why is this not good enough for you? This is home. We've never known anything else. Frankly, I don't think there is anything else. It's not much, but it's all we have. It's home.
God, here comes the song.
You're getting daydreamy and thinking of leaving this place.
Man.
Don't
What is this place though? This place here, is it meant to be like a... He's in some kind of purgatory.
teeny and disappear without a trace. Others have tried before you.
He's holding like, what's that? It looks like he's holding someone.
Not much, but it's home.
This has got levels to it, guys. This requires some game theory, film theory. Wow.
It isn't much, but it's our home. I think that you forget sometimes. There's nothing out there that we don't have in here.
Why is he talking about it out there? Because this isn't much living right now, is it? It's like he's tried convincing himself that, oh, I don't know. Anywhere but here. I mean, yeah, it's like a prison, like that's what they were saying, right? Is he dead? Did he die? Wow. Oh, what? So it just ends like on static? It's meant to be what's out there, unknown. This is how pins and needles feels, guys. This was a really good series. I'm guessing this is the end. So I think that it's meant to be in parts, right? Alright, let's wait. See if there's anything else. Or if it's just gonna fade out. Yeah, just goes to black. Interesting. Okay, so I think that the videos are meant to represent the stages of life and death, right? Like at the start, everything's kind of colourful, everything's good in the episode Home. But there's the kind of the question that comes in the snail mail that comes in. It's like the question of the horrors, maybe of life. I forgot what they were saying. How to make the horrors stop or something like that. You realise that's all life is. It's just a continuous lapse of days. It's just this day over and over again, right? Because there's no such thing as the past and the future. I mean, there is. It's a construct of the mind, but all there is right now is the present moment right now. So that's what they mean by it's today again. It's just now. That's all there ever is, until eventually a funeral is a party. Obviously, this man was dying at this point. He was kind of closed off, almost like he's in a hospital room, and everyone else was on the outside. So it's like he was dealing with death on his own, because at the end of the day, you can be surrounded by everyone, but you're the one that's going to go, because death is lonely, I guess, is what they're trying to say there. You're the one that has to deal with that. And the end is like the question of, okay, so where do we go after here? We've been fighting so hard to stay alive in this little bit, but what is there? And then he closes his eyes and it's static and black, because this series isn't going to give you the answer to what is after. It's just an abstract idea of what is, basically, and life will still continue on. I guess that's what they say, time is a prison, because we're stuck in it. You can't get out of time, and you're always aging. Let's have a look at some of the comments. While a lot of people are speculating that this series is about dementia, and I agree, I also just cannot shake this raw feeling of yearning for something different, for wanting to go outside and walk around and see the world and meet new people, but you don't know how and where to start, so you never do. It reminds me of my depressed days in bed when I want to get up, I want to leave, but I don't know where to go yet. It's interesting, actually. I mean, things like this, I don't really think have a correct answer. Some, I guess, are more on the nose than others, like make sense, like when you compare it to the message of what was being said, but it's one of those things that you can interpret differently, and I like those pieces of art. Oh yeah, this is definitely about dementia. Okay, they are liking this, look. Yara is liking this. His memory and mind have deteriorated to only looking like a void. Note how there's only one left with him. The clock woman has left. Like when you become old, your kids start to visit less, and how he mentions that there's no outside could allude to how some care homes will over-control the people in them. And especially with Mr. Samuels talking about wanting to leave, some people with dementia attempt to leave their homes to go home. That's super sad if that's the case. Or maybe like, because I was thinking of it as like an afterlife almost. But dementia makes a lot of sense. You get lost in your own mind, basically, and nothing really makes sense anymore. And I guess that's why everything's contorting and like twisted and makes no sense. And that's why he feels alone, because he only understands what's going on in his mind, whereas everyone else can see, looking in, what's happening, that he's not his normal self. That's pretty deep. This deserves, like this person here says, this deserves a lot more views than it's getting. This was an actual, like, really, like, mind-provoking story, and I'm just going to go back and like every single one of these. You could interpret this in many ways, but dementia does make sense, but it could be about dying, dementia, just living kind of in the present moment. I really enjoyed this. This was really, really good. Guys, please go subscribe to Yara Asma. You don't get many videos or many series like this on YouTube. You know, when they come along, we really need to celebrate them, and we really need to try and lift them up and get them more noticed, because like talent like this just can't go under the radar. It's ridiculous. This was really, really well put together. Yara, I don't know if you're watching this video, but very well done. Very well done. I really enjoyed this series. Guys, go subscribe, please. Go like the video, subscribe. I'm not sure if Yara's going to be making any more kind of things. Yeah, it looks like they are making more stuff. So if that's your thing, guys, I'm going to subscribe. Go subscribe. Go like their videos, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed my reaction, then why not leave a like rating down below. Subscribe if you did enjoy, if you're not subscribed already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.